Hey everyone, welcome to our Power Rankings video for this week. We're doing it one day later than I had planned, and really the whole point in Power Rankings doing them on Sundays was because the games are supposed to be over at 5 p.m.-ish for me, the late game, but that wasn't the case. The Giants and the Dodgers for some reason played till 10:30 at night. Ran out of time to do it, couldn't wake up in time to do it because I was in the office, so I'm doing it a day late. But we have a little bit extra games to figure it out because of it. 3 postpones today. Really wish we had them to help figure out some of this craziness that's going on right now. Power rankings, obviously, we're 3 games in for most teams. They don't mean a whole lot. A lot of fluctuation from the last one, but like I said, we don't know a whole lot. It's going to be some fluctuations at the beginning, but these videos are fun. So let's start things off. Right now, bottom of the league. Whew. They had a tough go out of the gate. They played the Astros 4 games now, and they managed to steal 1. Had they stole another one, they could have jumped up, but really their offense showed promise. The Mariners showed promise, but that's where we're going to be stuck there for now. Potential, based on how some of these other teams that I thought were in the bottom row did, it's potential that they could be tattooed there. Get a tattoo out. Number 29. A little bit surprising for me, the Milwaukee Brewers. I have them in 29. They had a rough go. The Cubs really laid the smackdown on them. First game, they stole a game from the Cubs, but today, Pittsburgh's kind of handling them. So right there, I don't expect them to stay there, but right now they're not playing well. The pitching is really letting them down, and their offense has not come. Maybe it was just the Cubs pitching, but the offense did not come through, at least in 2 games. Number 28, Boston Red Sox. And really, they've played 3 games, and they lost to the Baltimore Orioles twice. Their pitching it's really a big struggle. Actually, they've played 4 games. I forgot they played the Mets today, and they got smacked around again. So I got their pitching being a big struggle right now. Their offense, it's there, but it's not winning them games because their pitching is so bad. With being in the East, they can't afford to struggle. And with that start, it's looking potential. This one, number 27, I expected better. We got the Cincinnati Reds. They lost to the Cubs today, and they lost twice to Detroit on the weekend. They won their opener, and we were all feeling good. We were feeling them going up here. And their pitching is also the same story. Their starting pitching has been all right, but their bullpen has just been atrocious. And if that's been a thing in the past for them, so if it stays that way, we're in for. They're not gonna make it far. It doesn't matter what offense they have, how their starters do. Bullpen's blowing games. Number 26 made a little bit of a run this week. Surprised. 2-2. They're 2-2. And really, probably the worst 2-2 team I have down here. Played, and honestly, it's the St. Louis. They stole a win there. Otherwise, they got spanked. They almost won that first game, though, actually. But I think we're seeing the best of the Pirates right now. But I have to give them some credit, and if they keep it up, we'll see them move up into the 20s or so next region. Number 25. LA Angels. Now, this is a disappointment. I had them way up here in the last one. Shohei Ohtani got absolutely destroyed in his first start, which was scary. Their offense has not really picked up. The A's really did a number on them in this series. They're 1-3, and I don't see them going much farther down than this, but you never know. Could be another long year for the Angels if they don't turn this around. Got to turn it around quick. Number 24, only 3 games in, Chicago White Sox. And honestly, they played the Twins, but they gave up so many runs. The Twins scored 10 plus in 2 of the games, so that's very concerning. But they managed to keep up themselves with some runs, so I do have some promise for them. Next up, number 23, Arizona Diamondbacks. They had a tough matchup. Padres, they played well. Padres pitching started well. Their offense, they got the runs they needed. And the relief in the Padres was very strong. Diamondbacks, really, they had a chance today at tie 2-2 in the series, but they let it slip away. They're 1-3 against the Pirates. Don't really know how to gauge them too much yet, just based on their record and just not being able to win games. That's kind of where I have them. I'm interested to see how their starting pitchers do the second time around, because Bumgarner didn't do so well, Robbie Ray didn't do so well. So it'll be interesting second time through whether this is what their true Diamondbacks or how the next series go for them. Number 22 now. A little bit of a surprise. Detroit Tigers. The Royals laid the smackdown on them today, but they managed to come back twice against the Reds. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe this is the highest they go this season, because I know most people are a little questionable whether they can pull this off. But they're 2-2, so I had to respect that at least. 2-2, 22. Next up, but 21, the Royals. They leaped the Tigers today, mainly because they crushed them. I think 14 runs. I can't really remember. 14 runs, I believe. And to be honest, they did very well against the Indians. Went to extras on one, and when I'm doing these and I'm thinking of extra innings, I kind of count that as a tie, because extra innings, as we have seen already, is kind of a crapshoot. So really, they split the series with the Indians. They were down here. They're here. Again, it's another one of those teams. I don't know if they can keep it up, but that's why we play the games. Next up, I didn't really get too much to watch them this weekend. Number 20, Texas Rangers. This is the one series I didn't get a lot of time on. They played the Rockies. They barely won the first game, and then they dropped the next two. So for me, I'm holding judgment on them really too much of one way to see how they do this week. And based on that, don't really... Oh, Kluber. He didn't make it out of his first start. It looks like some sort of injury, so that's a concern as well. Number 19. Now this one's a shock. San Francisco Giants. I think I'm wearing my Giants hat. I forget what one I put on, but I think it's Giants. They split the series with the Dodgers, 2-2. They managed to win 2 games against the Dodgers. What else can I say? Got to be happy about that. Watched a lot of them play. Their offense, nothing spectacular. The pitchers, nothing spectacular. Dodgers just left a lot of people on base. Honestly, this could be the highest they get. But got to give them credit. Number 18, the Phillies. Now, they're in the news right now for other reasons, but they're off to a rough start against the Marlins. I think everyone expects them to be better against these Marlins. I know I did. They're 1-2. Gave up a lot of runs. Pitching looked in the first series. First series though. This is all after first series. You can't gauge a lot off of it. But here I am trying. Number 17. I'm laughing because it's this team, the Orioles. I think I had them 30-17 based off one series. And it was because they clobbered the Red Sox. Their offense was fairly good. Pitching, it's gonna not so much. This is probably too high, but I want to give them their day. They had a chance. They were supposed to start their series today. I think it was with the Marlins, but based on my other video, you can check that out. That's not happening. Next up, 16, dropping from 3rd. I remember Nationals. And really, the Nationals are not the team they were last year. I'm just watching them. They don't have Juan Soto, first off, for the first 4 games. They're 1-3. So really, I have them really high for being a 1-3 team. That's because I think they're a little bit better than their record. They're playing some tough opponents out of the gates. The Yankees, and honestly, the next team up, Blue Jays, number 15. They were playing them. Jays, I think they even surprised me. They're doing better than I had expected. They took a lead against Tampa Bay in all the games into the 8th inning and blew them. I don't think those games are games they'll lose down the road if they're in the exact same situation. It's a young team. In the last game against the Rays, they had it. Just defensive miscue really lost them that game. The pitching's been really good so far. Offense has been pretty good so far. So 15, I think that I have them in 23. So that's a pretty big up. And the first time this season, I'm confident that this Jays team is potential to fight for at least a playoff spot. This next one, it's not going to be reflective of what they're going to be in the future, but 14, I got the Marlins, and it's basically how they played against the Phillies. They played them well. However, going in the future, considering they have 14 positive cases of COVID, I don't think they're going to have the same roster, so they're likely going to be going this way. But that's based off what we saw up to this point. Don't expect it to stay. Number 13, Colorado Rockies. They had a slow start in the first game. I think they got 1 run, 2 maybe, I forget. But they managed to turn it on, and in the last game, their offense really started to click. Their starting rotation's pretty decent, so got them right in the middle of the pack. Potential this West is wide open as of right this second. Next up, 12, I got the New York Mets. I remember thinking when I put them up last week, right around the same spot, whether it was real. And I watched them fairly closely this weekend, and their pitching they have good pitching. And today their offense finally came alive. I think they only had 5 runs against the Braves in 3 games. Their pitching was really what kept them in there. They came out alive today against the Red Sox. And DeGrom, he looks Cy Young worthy. If they're playing a day game, make sure you back the Mets. So number 11, I got the team they were facing off against, the Braves. So I give them the slight edge because they technically won the series, even though according to my rules they went 1-1-1. And the Braves aren't much. I had them higher until they met up with the Rays today, and the Rays laid the beat down on them. So they got to sort that out. The pitching looked good against the Mets. This 4th, Fulte went today. Maybe it's just a fluke, but they got smashed. Number 10, we got the Cardinals. I'm not ready to move them up higher. They played the Pirates. They've played 3 games. Not ready to move them higher. They almost lost one of the ones they won as well. So right now I got borderline top 10. This week is going to speak volumes for what this team's going to look like. Number 9, we got the Tampa Bay Rays. They made a little bit of a move. After losing their opener, they had 2 pretty big comeback wins against the Blue Jays in late and in extras. Today, their offense was huge. Their pitching seems solid, although the offense against them has been, I think, better than they would have expected. So I got them number 9, potentially a high point for them. But we'll see with that one. This one, number 8, I'm excited about them. San Diego Padres. They've been fun to watch so far. 3-1. Their starting rotation solid. They've gave up hardly any runs. Again, small sample size, playing one team only. We'll see what it's like when they start playing the Astros, the Dodgers, and the top West teams. But so far, so good. I like what I see with them. Their offense has really clicked. Watching their games, their commentators have really talked about how they're patient at the plate, and it really shows. I think the first 2 games they got about 15 full counts throughout the game, at least. That might have been the first 3 games. Can't remember where they were running that off, but apparently they're showing lots of patience, and it's showing with people getting on base. Number 7, Twins. Their offense is just insane. The only reason I don't have them higher is because their pitching is very questionable. They gave up a lot of runs as well. But we'll see with them going forward if the pitching can catch up, if the offense can keep going. They hit the most home runs last year, so it's very likely the offense will keep going. So, fun team to watch. Number 6, Cleveland Indians. I give them the edge because their pitching has been great. Their offense came through. They beat Kansas City 2-1. I think, did they win the extra? No, yeah. They won that game in extras. I can't remember. They went to extras on 1. They shut out Kansas City. Their pitchers were getting Ks left and right. And their offense showed a glimmer of what it was in the past. So I have them in the top 6. I think they have a very strong potential to stay there. This number 5, this is a little bit maybe ambitious, but you got the Oakland A's. I gotta say, they surprised me against the Angels. Their pitching came through, really shut down the Angels. I don't know if it's an Angels problem or it's an Oakland A's problem, but it's a good problem to have if it's an Oakland A's problem. Their offense had a good week, and honestly, I think they have a shot to compete in this stacked West. So could very well be a high point, but in my gut, it feels like they were playing very good baseball. Number 4, I dropped them. Dodgers. They've been dethroned after 1 week at the number 1, and honestly, they have to. They went 2-2 against the Giants. I didn't want to drop them any lower because I know they left tons of players on base, missed a lot of scoring opportunity. It could just be a variance thing, but I had to drop them. They lost Kershaw with an injury. We don't know if he'll be back. They're saying he might miss one more start and he'll be back, but that's what we'll see. Number 3, Chicago Cubs. Giving them a lot of respect. Their offense has been great. Their pitching has been great. I think they're one of the teams that was most underrated coming into this. And number 3, I gave it to them. Had to give it to them. Number 2, Houston Astros. Even though they just played the Mariners, they showed that they can score runs. Their pitching, Mariners were getting it, but who knows? It's one of those things. They went 3-1. They were up here already. They went 3-1. Got to leave them up there. Got to move them up a bit because Dodgers fell. So I kind of just flashed it, but it's pretty obvious. Number 1, New York Yankees. I don't know if that's really solidified in there yet. They've played 3 games. I couldn't really move them down based off of 1 loss to the defending champions. But they came back in the other game, showed and then they're capable of winning. They could very well be strong going forward. We'll see what it's like that they're playing Philadelphia. What's going to go on with that? It could possibly be 3 games for a couple days before they play their next one. So that's what I have. It's been 3 to 4 games for every team. Doesn't mean a whole lot. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this round of Power Rankings. We'll be back next week. See you guys around.